Hey, Dr. Film here. And yes, I'm qualified to have that name. Today in this video, we're not doing your typical movie review. Instead, in this video, we're doing a review of two movies. In the red corner, we have Barbie. And in the blue corner, we have Oppenheimer. As always, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe for reviews and more. And please follow me on Instagram at Dr. Film Ronces for updates on my channel. And you should know that this double review contains no spoilers for both movies. And so, without further delay, let's start off with this double review with Barbie. Hey Barbie!
Hi Ken!
Hi Ken.
Hi Ken.
Hi Ken.
Hi Ken.
Hi Barbie! Hi Barbie! Hi Barbie!
Hi Barbie.
Hi Barbie!
Hi Barbie.
Hi Barbie!
Hi Barbie.
Hi Barbie!
2 hours later.
Hi Barbie! Hi Barbie! Hi Barbie! Hi Barbie!
How many Barbies are out there? First off, it's important to note that there are a lot of characters in this movie. So we'll only discuss two characters that have been the highlight of this movie, such as Barbie, played by Margot Robbie. She did a pretty phenomenal job playing as the stereotypical Barbie, who is always happy, cheerful, and optimistic. And I gotta say, there were moments in the movie where her performance was at its best, especially in some scenes where Barbie is struggling with her self-identity. Even when you see her cry in the movie, that moment alone tells you a lot what this character is going through. And of course, we have Ken, played by the one and only Ryan Gosling. There is no doubt in my mind that he's one of my favorite characters of this whole movie. I mean, gosh, everything he does in this movie is just comedy at its peak. He does a pretty fine job portraying what a real-life Ken would be like. I swear, man, he's just so funny that you can't help but love this guy. I thought I might stay over tonight.
Why?
Because we're girlfriend-boyfriend.
To do what?
I'm actually not sure. And of course, you have to give props to the filmmakers for everything that goes on in this movie. From the set designs, the costume designs, the color schemes, and including the musical dance numbers. What? You thought that this movie wouldn't have a musical dance number? Well, guess again, my friend. Thank you, Dua Lipa, for this awesome song! I love you. Anyways, despite what people thought the story was going to be about, based on the marketing and advertisements, the story isn't just for laughs, it's also very meta. And on top of that, the story also offers some pretty valuable lessons about life itself. Without getting into spoilers, all I can say is that this film gave me ideas and realizations that I needed to hear. And that's saying something coming from a Barbie movie. But if I have to be honest, there were some aspects of this movie that didn't hit right with me. For instance, some of the humor fell flat, Will Ferrell's character wasn't really needed, and I have to admit, by the end of the story, there were a lot of messages to unpack, and I did get lost in it a bit, but that didn't bother me too much because I kind of get the idea of what they were going for in this movie. While yes, despite this film's hiccups, I still thought that this movie was enjoyable, lighthearted, and quite immersive. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for my next movie of this double review, Oppenheimer.
7, 6, 5, 4.
Thank you, Dr. Film. Now, where do I start? Or wait, yes, of course, the characters. And there are how many characters?
Probably around 100 characters.
Oh boy. Yes, apparently this movie is packed with a lot of actors in this movie. For instance, you've got Emily Blunt, Matt Damon, Robert Downey Jr., Jason Clarke, Kenneth Branagh, Florence Pugh, Rami Malek, Jack Quaid, Josh Peck, Gary Oldman, Casey Affleck, and many, many more. Without making this video too long, all I can say is that each and every actor in this movie played their parts very well, but there is one that stands above all of them, and that is the character that we follow in this movie, and his name is J. Robert Oppenheimer, played by Cillian Murphy. Bro, he was so magnetic in this movie. He was captivating, intriguing, mysterious, and last but not least, one of the most tragic characters of film history. There are moments in this film where he performed his role so well that I actually believed I was looking at Oppenheimer, a man determined to change the world, but soon after he finds himself struggling with the realization that he gave the world a weapon capable of destroying the world. And you can see that just from this expression alone. Of course, the cast and characters are not what makes this film good. From the sound design, the score, the visuals, the editing, it really all comes together so beautifully. And I liked how they utilized the concept of switching back and forth between the past and the future. I know it's been done before in countless other movies, but I think they did well utilizing this concept to keep the audience invested, to learn about what happened before and after the events of the first atomic bomb.
Are we saying there's a chance that when we push that button, we destroy the world?
Chances are near zero.
Near zero.
What do you want for theory alone?
Zero would be nice.
Although, despite this film's impressive feats, there were some aspects of the movie that didn't sit right with me. For one, some of the dialogue in some scenes sounded really low for some reason. I don't know if that was their intention to lower the volume of the dialogue for some of the music scores, but it is something that I picked up on, and it left me with some questions in mind. And another thing that didn't sit right with me was some of the editing choices. Particularly in this scene, where Oppenheimer speaks to a dozen authority figures about his past life and who he's been with, and without spoiling too much, I just thought that scene was a bit too uncomfortable and a little forced, to be honest. And I also have to point out, Emily Blunt's character happens to be American, and her American accent was spotty at times. Heck, I might even say it's nowhere near impressive as Henry Cavill's American accent in Mission Impossible Fallout.
He had a date with the widow. You look nothing like him.
Now, we have to hope they never met.
Hope is not a strategy.
Gosh, I wish I could have his mustache. Before we get to the verdict, it's time to answer a very important question everyone has in mind. Did both of these movies live up to the hype? Heck yeah, they did! On the one hand, Barbie was a creative, passionate, and a heartfelt moving picture. But don't get me wrong, this film isn't exactly perfect. Like most movies, it's got its ups and downs. But I think the good moments triumph over the bad moments in this movie. And when you really think about it, this movie wasn't some poor, sleazy attempt to make some cash money. No, this was made by people who really cared about this movie. This was their attempt to tell a story that many people would consider a ridiculous attempt. But surprise, surprise, this film ain't ridiculous. With that being said, I give Barbie an 8.5 out of 10. Then of course, we have Oppenheimer. This film was gritty, visceral, intense, suspenseful, eye-catching, and I might even dare say, freaking horrifying. Especially when you consider the fact that the events that took place in this film actually happened. Even though you might notice a few hiccups in this film here and there, you wouldn't be bothered by it because you're too focused on being mesmerized by the sheer focus and determination of a man who suddenly finds himself shrouded in misery and guilt of what he has done. Honestly, when going into this film, I wasn't expecting much, but man, as soon it was over, this film left me with a startling impact that's not going away anytime soon. And that is why I give Oppenheimer a 9 out of 10.
You win!
Whew! Yes! That's the end of my double review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like. And please follow me on TikTok at DocRonces for trailer reactions, funny videos, you name it. And as always, I will see you guys at our next appointment.